Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are taking on Naysala. Oh, I think I got that right. I think so. To close out the week, and we're just going to do the easy thing here, which is to tank this with Sita. We're just going to throw her in the front and pretty much call it a day. Should be GG's from there, and we'll close it out. What has been a pretty active week, I want to say. A lot of interesting developments in terms of just, new units of the game and how the new mechanics interact with each other, and just potential to see what's going on in terms of like builds. And there's just been a lot of changes this week, and I think we're gonna get at least one more week of that with another banner on its way in a couple of, what day is it? Today's the 10th. We should get another banner either late this week, I believe, midweek, or maybe even Monday. Well, no, last one was on the 5th. No, so yeah, it might be too early, but I do think that I do remember hearing that there's another banner on the way, so look out for that, the new heroes banner. So yeah, we're gonna have some more changes upcoming, plus SDS I think is next week as well, so it's gonna be another busy week. I have only just begun getting back up to speed with some of the changes in SD with the new units, particularly Rhea, and what that means for my Sita team. She is not doing very great into that Rhea matchup, which is peculiar because, armor effectiveness, but then Miracle kind of throws a wrench into that. I'm telling you, man, this new Rhea is pretty much just Marnie on crack. It performs almost exactly the same, but probably even better to a large degree because of the color neutrality. She doesn't do as poorly into Felix or Ira for that matter. Yeah, just really, really difficult to take down this new duo Rhea is. And again, just unfortunate that we don't have the English voice lines. I'm really peeved. I would like them to get that sorted out. If it's a money thing, just pay them. It's not like you're short of money. But that really wasn't what it was from what I remember. It should have just been about, using their voice for AI, which seems like automatically don't do that move. If you have the choice between AI and a real person, just pay someone. It's not that hard. Anyone will be willing to add their voice into something for whatever small amount or big amount fee it is. Just pay someone. Find someone and pay them. It's not that. I don't know. Am I just being unrealistic in thinking that everything shouldn't boil down to money? Yeah, but I really do miss the English voice lines, especially in a duo that is this. It feels like, I don't know if this is a conspiracy, but all of the units that have missing English voice lines are all super dominant meta units, and I don't know if there's a conspiracy there or if IS is doing that intentionally. I don't know. Feels like there might be something there, but maybe it's just me, tinfoil hat, going a little bit too crazy. But just wanted to point that out. But yeah, that aside, really struggling with the new Rhea in SD. Had to find, I think I've ended up on Christmas Shez being the best partner for Sita in SD, just to cover that range matchup, because I'm running Ninja Lucina and then Sedith, and then both of them kind of do benefit from. Sedith is pretty much the crux of the team. Everything kind of revolves around him, which is why I had to give him Sabotage recently, just so that he could do a little bit more than just, stand there menacingly and give out stats. So I gave him Sabotage, and I feel like it's working out really well so far. Hopefully, again, I feel like we need some new debuffs in the game. The last one that we got was when Duo Shamir came out with, am I wrong? Discord? No. Has to be Sabotage. Who came out with, who had Sabotage? I don't remember who introduced Sabotage, but that was the last one, and I do feel like we need one more. I did see some interesting, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for here? Examples or suggestions. Something like Poison I don't remember who said it, but something like poison that could. But then poison strike is already in the game, so I figured that's like IS's way of introducing poison. But something that could like chip you down. If there are just a lot of options that they can do, and I feel like there needs to be another one right now, just to help us out with some of these really tanky matchups that we're facing. And man, Fatal Smoke is really great, but I don't want to put Fatal Smoke on Sita because she needs the speed to win certain matchups. So I don't know. But then also it's kind of needed just because Rhea is almost always there. So now I'm looking at a situation where either I don't use Sita or I ban every Rhea team. And then also Lorather is still super... It's really annoying that there's no way, literally no way to get rid... Well, none that I'm aware of currently, to get rid of the buff, the assigned decoy. It is really annoying. It is really, really annoying because they just put the team in. There needs to be a counter. When did he come out?
I'll pay them a visit.
Not that long. There needs to be a counter for that, man. Like, honestly, it's so annoying to deal with. It's just one more thing in an already, like, complex game mode that you can't do anything about. It's like the map itself. If there's the trench, well, like, no, even in situations where the map is there, if there's a trench, you can, you know, have a way to get over that trench if you're a Cav. If there's a tree, you can smite over it. There's a way to get around everything except this assigned decoy thing from Lorather. And I do not like things that don't have counterplay. It's really annoying. Yeah. So the only solution shouldn't be to ban him. Rant over. Anyways, looking forward to the new week. Already started planning for Ike in terms of, you know, what we're going to be doing with him, how we're going to take care of him. He's going to be a pain. Hopefully, you know, people just play badly. Hopefully that's the eventual outcome of the next 2 weeks. Even though, you know, I highly doubt that is going to happen. I've been like thinking of experimenting with because of Ike's status. It's a really good status effect. It just sucks that it's not real speed, you know. So you can still get outsped, but it's a really good status effect. And I'm trying to figure out a way to like partner that with, let's say, someone like Ice Stripe Fjorm, who's already so fast. So that's on the back burner of my mind. That's something that I'm working on. And I've actually gotten someone mention that Zed is supposed to be good, so I gotta test him out as well. But GG's. Okay, so here we go. Just gonna do a quick review to see what's going on. Yeah. Just gonna do a quick review to see what's going on here and how, you know, everyone feared. Gotta just again point out Sedith is unbelievable. So versatile. Stick him there and he just works. Really, I don't know how they'll replicate this in terms of what he does. It can't be a unit that's too hyper aggressive because that can pretty much, you don't want an offense. In terms of support, maybe if it's a dancer it'll be cool, but if it's a support unit, you don't want them to have too much them to have too much combat, because then they're going to be targeted to be, you know, taken out that way. Sedith kind of gets away with it because everyone's like, well, I gotta take out this unit before I get to Sedith, or Sedith is being covered by someone else. But if the unit is, you know, offensively driven, then you're more likely to attack with that unit and potentially lose the status benefits of running that particular unit that will replace Sedith in the future. But Sedith, because he doesn't have that great of a combat, he gets away with just being like the last unit on the map a lot of the time. So I don't know what they'll do to replace him, but he is just so good. What I really wanted to test out was whether or not Lin can actually take out, you know, Athos. As you can see here again, a lot of that is Sedith just being amazing. So we're just going to wait a couple turns here until Athos pops out and see what we can do there. Ira, also really fantastic. I was actually like doing some testing, partnering her with Fjorm just to see if it helped Fjorm avoid getting doubled, but it really doesn't. It's kind of like, again, fake speed. It helps her in the player phase when she's attacking, but she really doesn't need that extra attack a lot of the times. especially when she has Sedith already. So just a team building thing. You don't really need Sedith in this particular situation where Fjorm. Yeah, it's man, I forgot that.
Leave it to me.
Okay, never mind. It doesn't look like we're gonna be able to find out since I can't get through Fjorm here. Really didn't plan this through. So this was what I was thinking of running, but I ended up going with Neathogger just because I really liked having the status effects for Crom. Although really didn't matter. Yeah.
They will.
And the configuration is also tough because there's a couple status effects here that Crom just can't get because they're just not. He's not in range to get them, so it was really tough to try to figure it out, which is why ultimately I went with the other variation of this. Instead of using Fjorm, I used Neathogger. You'll see the difference replays later, and it'll give you like I'll give like a quick discussion of what's this old man. So this is an interesting thing. What is he, 40? This is plus 20. It's like putting him in this slot gives him more bulk because he takes advantage of the mythic buffs from the other units, plus his bonus stats because he's bonus. And then I'm sure that you're seeing the numbers right now, but debuffing this guy, like if you put debuffs on him, it only makes him stronger because of this A skill. I'm pretty sure I've said it before, but it's incredible how much more powerful it actually makes him. I don't think it translates well, does it? I guess there's some debuffs that stick. So that it translates over into the player phase, but in enemy phase it really helps him out a ton because he's not supposed to be surviving melee threats like this. It's kind of insane. I was saying earlier, I was thinking that that's what they needed to have done with Gateau, but Gateau was just a little bit ahead of his time. But I think when Gateau eventually gets a refine, it'll be something like that because that's one of Gateau's main weaknesses. But now we found one map here. I think this was the one that had him with Lagu's Friend 4 just to make him extra bulky. And again, here Sedith being amazing, just being super powerful. And this Ephraim, this is probably one of the most, I don't know if it's like a I don't know what to call it, but a cycle, because Ephraim, this is his winter version from how many years ago with a Brave refine. I don't remember if he had Brave on release, but they gave him a Valentine's version last year that also has Brave. I just wanted to point that out in terms of, I don't know if it's a IS running out of ideas type of thing, because that didn't need to happen because he already had it, or if it's just them giving us updated kits and skills on units that we already liked, which I'm not like the biggest fan of. Really, I'd prefer just to use the ones that are already there because that's the reason that we pulled for them, that's the reason that we invested in them. We just want them to be better. Yes. Thinking of Arden here. If there was a way to make Arden work, I really would, but his whole thing is that Brave weapon, and you can't really, I'm not a fan of replacing the weapons and the preferential skills and stuff like that, but
your plan?
Tangent. That's not what we were talking about. But yeah, just going through just to see if there are any additional Athos defenses that popped up, and I didn't really see any on my friends list. So I don't know, maybe my bubble isn't the greatest when it comes to checking for updated defenses for Ather raids. But I was very surprised to see the amount of people with Athos on their defense that I ran into during the week. I didn't expect it to be that much, but it turned out to be quite a few, which was, I like the uptake. A lot of times I feel like we are, at least the Fatubers, we're on the forefront of adapting, the early adapters for these new mechanics, because, you know, we just, I don't know, we see the benefit of it. I don't know if that's the way to put it, but and then everyone else kind of just mimics what we do, which is kind of crazy. But also I understand if you want to get ideas, you just go out there and look for it. Someone is probably, everything under the sun has already been done. It's just for you to go out there and find who it is that did it and figure out if that's the same way that you want to do it or not. I kind of just want to see what will end up with the matchup with Gateau, I keep calling him Gateau because they have that old man drip. But with ASOS and Lin, I want to see what that matchup is like. Just with the Lagusren 4, I have not been able to test it because I don't have any additional copies of... that is his best B skill, in my opinion. But I just don't have it currently. And it would also help him just be a better frontliner as well. I don't know. I can't think of a better B skill for him. But again, currently I don't have it, so gotta just figure it out, make it work. I was wondering where he hid his Lin ring. I knew he had it, but here it is. It's an interesting pick because it essentially just forces the defense to initiate on turn 3, so you have no choice aside from, you know, attacking. Or, well, I guess you have space to run away if you want to keep running away, but it's an interesting pick because what it does, if it fails, then Neathhogger is since he's the near save, you're going to be exposed in a couple of places, but yeah, planning for where your defense will end up after it attacks is still one of the toughest things to do when building a defense.
I seek a foe.
Yeah, we're going to take out Ephraim here. I think we can get it if we pop the dance. And then see what Lin is actually capable of doing.
What now? Just close your eyes.
Just by the few matches that I've played with Dimitri, Edelgard is the best out of the bunch by a country mile. But Dimitri is definitely a close, well, second place, not close, but he's in second place. Rhea is really good. Just wanted to say that again. But Edelgard is still just so much better. And the thing that makes Rhea so good is that she gives that miracle support as a drive. So taking out someone like the Snakes becomes that much harder, which is what I've been seeing in the matches I was playing in SD. You definitely need to quad because, or at least have some additional hit, some follow-up, a follow-up hit to get through, you know, the tankier units, because if Rhea is there, because or feud works as well. You won't need to worry about that if you have feud, which kind of makes me want to try out that Innis just a little bit to see if there's any, you know, real power there, because yeah, I don't expect him to take out, you know, well, the fact that she's not winning the speed check is crazy, and the fact that she's hitting like plus, what was that, 50 or something, 44 speed. It's a ton. Even though she has bonus stats, that's understandable, but man, not even getting the plus 65 defense and res. Ooh, okay. And that's gonna be like what, 20% of that added on to his defense for flat damage reduction. Jesus. Yeah, okay, Lin doing nothing here.
Let's go.
Still not winning the speed check. Plus 43 speed. It's over 100. No? Yeah, definitely over 100.
Leave it to me.
And plus, yeah, Lin doing nothing to the rest of the units here. I don't know, maybe more hits. 5 hits would have gotten it to work, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to do anything else here. Yeah, good defense, really good defense. It works. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is just to sit there and tank. Here's Ike. It does that very, very well. And again, Sedith. But for that situation, you'd probably replace Sedith with I don't know, let's say, what's his face? Ooh, the evil man, he's purple, and he has that sword. I can't remember what his name is. Yeah, I want to point this one out as well. We want to give this one a try as well. There's 2 different ways to approach this, and I'll do both of them just to show you what the different outcomes are. Ashnard, yeah. For a defense like that, since really the only unit there that really depends on speed was Bridget in the previous defense. Bridget was really the only one that depended on speed, so Ashnard could easily have fit into that slot that what's his face? Sedith was in, both being flyers. Or maybe if you, well, then Bridget wouldn't have been able to warp out. I was thinking you could probably also do Dusel, because he got a refine that also gives out defense and attack. which is really what that particular lineup is. You don't have a lot of speedy units, which is one of the things that I was thinking about in terms of like building. You don't always have to use Seteth. Seteth is really there for speed swings. If you just want like attack and defense, then there are other options as well. But if you want speed, then that's just what you got to go to. So yeah, this defense here from Stepbro is really just like focused towards speed. If you win the speed check here, it's highly likely that you'll be able to beat this. The thing is, Tana is fast, but not. There's still units out there that can outspeed her. Looking at like Ike and Malice and Sita, if you have her invested, there are units out there that can beat this specific Tana here. I'd probably recommend. Well, it really boils down to what he has. I also got a plus defense Tana. Eventually, I got enough trade fruits so I could swap her defense boon to her speed boon because because she really needs the speed to be able to double. His version here with Execution, it's set up that way to help her survive because she's 50-50 or like 45-55 in terms of percentages. Probably going to win the speed check. But in the event that she doesn't, the Execution is supposed to be there to help her survive. But really what you want to be focused on is winning the speed check, because if you do, this can happen. And this is something that I was planning to do myself, but I decided not to do it since I just couldn't bother to waste the blessings, so I didn't want to do it. But this is the reason that I wanted to show this off with the saves first, because of Edelgard over there in the corner. And I just wanted to show you that this is something that's possible with Tana now. I don't think you could probably have done it with young Emerin before, but Tana just allows you so much more movement. It's just unbelievable what she can offer to your defense. And yeah, again, this is what you can do with her. It doesn't even have to be this Edelgard, even though the reason that this Edelgard is here is because she hits so hard and she neutralizes specials. But you can just have any other Gale Force unit. This could have been Felix, Sigurd, anyone else with Gale Force really could have warped in here and just wreaked havoc. As you can see here, not everyone dying because they're just that much bulkier. Didn't expect Astra to survive there. That was really interesting. But yeah,
That's the stuff.
very neat trick. Now, as I was saying, that there's a problem here. First off, the problem is with Tana. Really needs to invest a bit more into her speed to ensure that she's not losing that speed matchup, because if she loses the speed matchup, she will die. And if she dies, well, you'll see what will happen. I'm gonna do that one right after this. But yeah, everyone just keeps warping down, and it just is like a never-ending assault, pretty much until everyone is dead. And that's why I wanted to do this, because it's so nifty. But again, I just didn't want to use the blessing. And I was also primarily worried about the speed check. I couldn't think of a way to get her to win the speed check consistently, aside from using Seteth, but then I don't really want Seteth to warp in an attack, so yeah. But yeah, as you can see, most of the team is pretty much demolished, and yeah, that would be a pretty clean win. Let me show you the speed check version. Again, I can do it. I guess you could do it if you had a speedy near save, but the thing is, you're probably going with Shield Fighter, and you're probably not going to do damage. I'm thinking of Grima, Riam Grima, but probably not going to do any damage because of Shield Fighter. Until we get a Briar version of that, at least. Which I don't think we need currently in the game, but I know they'll put it out eventually. But yeah. So what I'm going to do here is pretty much just tank this well, it's not really the same approach. Different approach. And you're going to see the difference that the speed matchup makes. Granted, Sita is plus 10, but you can do this with just support. Speed support.
No doubt.
You can just do this. But only if you realize what's going on. If you don't realize what's going on, you're probably not gonna figure this out. What you would have needed here, I think, to make the speed match a little bit more consistent is, I don't know, like a debuff or something, sabotage for speed, or when that rally happens with Freyr there, maybe like a ruse, something like that, because as you can see there, Tana died because she lost the speed check and just too much damage for the execution to proc properly, for reduce rather. If that was Pavis and she survived, then, but I don't know how you'd get Pavis to work there without giving her the Marth ring, and a lot to consider. Running another unit to get preempt pulse, special acceleration, special charge, it's a lot to consider. But she really needed to win either the speed check or survive if she's not winning the speed check, which is why you win plus defense, to make up for the fact that, you know, if she doesn't win the speed check, she might just live off just raw bulk. But a lot of her stuff is down to speed, and that's what happens when she doesn't win the speed check. And from here, even though these units here, the armors, which is another great thing about this defense, even though the armor units don't get the opportunity to warp in because Tana died, they still sit there and protect the remaining forces and essentially become like a nuisance to break through. It's going to take you a number of turns to get through all of this successfully, or to bait them out. Granted, you can just break the structures and get up there that way, and then also he has the extra slot here, which is going to pop out Aethus, because of course who else is going to be there, which will basically be just an additional unit for you to take care of, and that will also slow you down in terms of getting through this. So there's a lot of good here, but there's just a few tweaks that I would make or try to figure out, and it would actually just make it 10 times better. If she always, you never have to worry about losing. If she, well, probably not already not worried about losing, but just to increase your win percentages by 2%. If she always wins the speed check, you never have to worry about losing, which is very difficult because speed is favored on offense. There's so many things that you can bring to increase your speed, and then for defense, the unit that's initiating typically loses a large percentage of their speed because it's usually built for being balled up, so you get like drives and stuff, and then you get the speed that way. But once you move away from that, you don't bring that speed with you. You only have what you have when you're initiating. But yeah, that's really what Tana needs. And then the second thing is Edelgard, Valentine's Edelgard in the back. You saw her in the previous matchup or attempt, or whatever you want to call it. She was the one that was doing like the majority of the damage there, because she hits so hard and she hits multiple times. She's able to just do it over and over again. She is kind of stuck, which you don't want. Celica Ring was already on Tana, which is how Tana was able to cover that ground. Really, you kind of want that on Tana. I can't really think of any way to replace that. You definitely want that there. But then Edelgard needs a way to be able to move forward. See, I don't know, maybe a reposition or positional skill or something. She needs to be able to be threatening, because if Edelgard initiated, I would have lost this, because Edelgard does win against Sita, and she does win against most blue units in the game currently. If you want to beat her, who have I seen? She has lost, I just can't remember out the top of my head currently, but it's not easy. It's not easy for her to lose or for you to tank her. She's typically always doing 99 damage, so it's definitely not easy, but she can lose. So the only thing you need to, complete it, 2%, figure out a way to get Edelgard to get down here and be more aggressive. If she can, yes, it's great that the armors are slowing down, but I can just wait for them to attack and they will just die one by one. One of the far save or the near saves will go down, and then Edelgard doesn't really have the strongest player enemy phase, so you can get at her as a result of that. But if she can be more aggressive, then you don't have the time to wait on her to come down or plan around when you'll be able to tank her or how you'll be able to take her out if she attacks. You just pretty much have to run away. But then also, I guess that's like counter. If she's slow, if she's not moving too quickly, then she won't outpace the defense. But I don't see that happening with the amount of swaps that are going on here with the two Hathuns. I don't see that happening. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call it here for this one at least, because I've gotten into a spot here that is I mean, I can just wait, allow Hector to attack into Sita. The stone terrain is really what's saving him currently, but there's really not much else that you're going to learn from me continuing this. I actually do want to try to see if I can get Neathogger up there to take out Hector, but I don't know if it's going to be possible. Let's see.
I have no doubt.
But yeah, I think I'm really just excited to give this season of SDS a shot. With all of the new additions, I also feel like I'm quite a ways behind in terms of what's going on in the meta, which is why I'm playing so many matches currently. But I feel like, I should probably swap out the Sita team now and start figuring out some other team compositions. I feel like I've also solved my my problem, which I had. Also, I don't know what skill is going to be bonus next week. That could affect things, but let's see. I've also solved my problems of frontliner. I was using Hearthvulgar as a frontliner, and that's really not what she wants to do. Even though she can to some degree do it, it's not the best role for her. And I've figured that out as well in terms of just getting units that can fulfill that job. I have, a couple more that can do that. And I have the luxury now of just slotting Tamara onto any team that I want to put her on. And just have her stand there menacingly. She doesn't even really need to do anything. One of my bigger concerns were that my teams were just super blue. Like, there's just so many blue units because blue is really dominant again in the meta. But that's typically the swing that happens after red has a standout performance. Just waiting on green to kick back up again. Hopefully something happens there. Probably that's what Edlegard is going to do, but we'll see what the next banner has in terms of green units. But yeah, that's going to be my focus for the next couple of days. Just trying to build an SDS team, 4 of them, and see how it performs from there on out. Hopefully I have a good season. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I didn't really see anything else that I wanted to show off in terms of Athos on defense. But I liked what I saw overall from everyone that had him in terms of just putting him out there and seeing what he could do. Embla, don't know how she's going to fit into next season because of the bonus units that are there. There's going to be a lot of brave hits, which is annoying, but I mean, that's pretty much it for now. GG's, see you in the next one.